What if I told you that some of the most profitable livestock in the world aren't cows, chickens, or goats? In fact, some farmers are quietly making thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars per year raising animals most people don't even know exist. These animals require less space, less feed, less competition, and in many cases, they produce 3 to 10 times more profit per acre than traditional livestock. Some can be raised in backyards, some mature in just weeks, and others produce products worth over $150 per gallon. Today, we'll reveal the 7 most profitable livestock most farmers completely overlook. For thousands of years, farmers relied heavily on cattle, sheep, and goats. But modern farming economics has changed dramatically. Large industrial farms dominate commodity markets. This drives prices down and makes it harder for small farms to compete. Think about a small farmer trying to sell beef cattle. They're competing against massive feedlots that process thousands of animals per month. The price per pound is set by these industrial operations. Small farmers become price takers, not price makers. But niche livestock operate in completely different markets. These animals serve specialty buyers, chefs looking for unique ingredients, restaurants creating distinctive menus, collectors, specialty food markets, health-focused consumers willing to pay premium prices for specific products. And when supply is limited but demand is growing, prices stay high. This is basic economics, but most farmers never think this way. They stick with traditional livestock because that's what everyone else does. This creates a powerful opportunity. Smaller farms can generate higher profit from less land, less feed, and less competition. You're not fighting for pennies per pound in commodity markets. You're capturing premium dollars in specialty markets. And the first animal on this list proves exactly how powerful this strategy can be. It's small, fast-growing, and produces products that sell for 2 to 4 times the price of similar commodity products. If you want to learn how farmers are using unusual livestock to generate serious income and build resilient food systems, subscribe now, because number 7 could completely change how you think about farming forever. Livestock 1. Quail. Quail are one of the fastest growing livestock in the world. They mature in just 6 to 8 weeks, much faster than chickens. A chicken typically takes 4 to 5 months to reach harvest weight. Quail do it in half that time. Each quail produces up to 300 eggs per year. Now, quail eggs are smaller than chicken eggs, but here's where the economics get interesting. Quail eggs sell for premium prices in specialty markets, often 2 to 4 times the price of chicken eggs per dozen. Why? Because they're considered a delicacy. High-end restaurants use them, health-conscious consumers seek them out, and supply is limited because most farmers don't raise quail. Quail require very little space. Hundreds can be raised in small areas. A setup that would house 50 chickens can house 300 quail. This makes them ideal for small farms and backyard operations. You don't need acres of land. You don't need expensive infrastructure. Suitable for USDA zones 3 through 10, they tolerate cold and heat well when properly sheltered. With basic housing, they can thrive in most climates across North America. Historically, quail were raised in ancient China and Egypt as valuable food sources. Their fast growth and efficiency made them extremely valuable livestock. When space was limited and food security mattered, quail delivered. Livestock 2. Black Soldier Fly Larvae. Black soldier fly larvae convert food waste into high-protein animal feed. This is not a small thing. This is revolutionary. Think about the economics. Most livestock require expensive feed. Feed costs often represent 50 to 70% of total production costs. Black soldier fly larvae eat food scraps, farm waste, organic material that would otherwise be thrown away. They grow incredibly fast, from egg to harvest in just 2 to 3 weeks, and they require almost no management. You provide waste material, they consume it, they grow. You harvest them. Their dried larvae sell for high prices as animal feed. Chicken farmers, fish farmers, and reptile breeders all need high-protein feed. Black soldier fly larvae contain approximately 40% protein. That's comparable to fish meal, which is expensive and environmentally problematic. And their waste byproduct becomes valuable fertilizer. This is called frass. It's rich in nitrogen and other nutrients. Gardeners and farmers pay good money for quality organic fertilizer. Best suited for zones 7 through 11, but they can be raised indoors in colder regions with basic heating. This makes them accessible even in northern climates. This makes them one of the most efficient livestock systems ever developed. You're solving a waste problem while creating two valuable products, feed and fertilizer, all from material that would otherwise cost money to dispose of. Subscribe now because the next livestock was once reserved for royalty, and today it's quietly generating serious income for small farmers. Livestock 3. Rabbits. Rabbits reproduce faster than almost any other livestock. A single female can produce dozens of offspring per year. Let me put this in perspective. One doe and one buck can produce over 100 offspring annually, 100 from 2 animals. Rabbit meat is lean, high in protein, and highly valued. It contains more protein per pound than chicken or beef, less fat than almost any other meat, and it's becoming increasingly popular with health-conscious consumers. They require very little space. A breeding operation can be run in a garage or small shed. Commercial rabbit operations often stack cages vertically. This means you can raise significant numbers in minimal square footage. Very little feed. Rabbits are efficient converters. They turn feed into meat at excellent ratios, and they can eat a variety of foods: pellets, hay, garden scraps, foraged greens. This flexibility reduces feed costs. And they grow quickly. Most meat rabbit breeds reach harvest weight in 8 to 12 weeks. Fast turnover means faster profit. Suitable for zones 2 through 10, extremely adaptable. With proper housing, rabbits thrive in cold climates and warm climates. They just need protection from extreme temperature swings. Historically, rabbits were raised throughout Europe and ancient Rome because they provided reliable food during difficult times. When larger livestock were expensive or impractical, rabbits filled the gap. Monks raised them in medieval monasteries. Peasants raised them in small yards because they worked. Livestock 4. Bees. Bees produce honey, one of the most valuable natural food products on Earth. Honey never spoils. Archaeologists have found honey in Egyptian tombs over 3,000 years old, still perfectly edible. But honey is just the beginning. Bees also produce wax. Beeswax sells for high prices. It's used in cosmetics, candles, woodworking, and countless other applications. They produce propolis. This is a resinous substance bees use to seal their hives. Propolis has antimicrobial properties and sells at premium prices in health markets. And they produce royal jelly. This is what bees feed to queen larvae. It's extremely valuable. Some markets pay over $100 per pound for quality royal jelly. But here's what makes bees truly remarkable. They require minimal land. Hives can be placed almost anywhere: backyards, rooftops, edges of fields, and bees forage for their own food. You're not buying feed. They're collecting nectar and pollen from flowers within a several-mile radius. Suitable for zones 3 through 10. With proper hive management, bees survive cold winters and hot summers across most of North America. Historically, honey was used as currency in ancient civilizations. It was a form of stored wealth. It represented labor, time, and value that didn't degrade, making bees one of the most valuable livestock in human history. Subscribe now because the next livestock produces luxury products used in cosmetics and high-end markets, and most farmers aren't raising them yet. Livestock 5. Emus. Emus produce meat. Emu meat is red meat, similar to beef, but leaner. It's high in protein, low in cholesterol, and commands premium prices. Health-conscious consumers actively seek it out. They produce oil. Emu oil is extracted from the fat. It's used in cosmetics, skincare products, and therapeutic applications, and it sells at premium prices, often $20 to $40 per ounce in retail markets. One emu can produce several liters of oil. They produce leather. Emu leather is soft, durable, and distinctive. It's used in high-end boots, wallets, and accessories. Leather buyers paid premium prices for quality emu hides. This creates multiple income streams from a single animal. You're not depending on one product, you're diversifying revenue. If meat prices drop, oil prices might be strong. If leather demand is weak, meat demand compensates. Suitable for zones 6 through 10. Emus are extremely hardy. They originated in Australia, where they faced extreme heat and drought. Modern domestic emus handle temperature variations well. And they require relatively low maintenance. They're not delicate. They don't need elaborate housing. Basic shelter, good fencing, and proper feed. They're grazing birds. They can forage for much of their food in pasture settings. Livestock 5. Goats. Goats have sustained civilizations for thousands of years. They're mentioned throughout ancient texts, historical records, archaeological sites across the world because they work. They produce in conditions where other livestock fail. They produce milk. Goat milk is easier to digest than cow milk for many people. It's naturally homogenized, and it's increasingly popular. Goat milk, cheese, yogurt, and soap all command premium prices in specialty markets. They produce meat. Goat meat is the most consumed red meat in the world. Not beef, goat. Global demand is enormous, and in North America, supply hasn't kept up. This creates opportunity. Farmers raising goats for meat often have buyers lined up before harvest. They produce fiber. Certain goat breeds, like Angora and Cashmere, produce extremely valuable fiber. Mohair from Angora goats and Cashmere from Cashmere goats sell for high prices. These luxury fibers serve high-end textile markets. And they thrive in harsh environments. Goats are browsers, not grazers. They eat brush, leaves, weeds, and plants other livestock won't touch. This means they can clear land while producing value. Farmers use goats for vegetation management while also harvesting milk, meat, or fiber. Suitable for zones 2 through 10. Highly adaptable. Goats handle extreme cold in northern regions and extreme heat in southern regions. With basic shelter, they thrive almost anywhere. Livestock 7. Bison. Bison meat is highly valued. It's leaner than beef, higher in protein, lower in cholesterol, and consumers pay premium prices for it, often 2 to 3 times the price per pound of commodity beef. Health-focused consumers prefer it. The market for bison continues to grow year after year. Restaurants feature it, specialty butchers stock it, and supply remains limited. Best suited for zones 3 through 9, bison evolved on the Great Plains. They handle temperature extremes that would stress cattle, brutal winters, hot summers. They're built for it. Bison are extremely hardy. They calve easily, they resist many diseases that affect cattle, and they require less intervention than cattle. They're not domesticated animals that need constant management. They're semi-wild animals that largely take care of themselves. Historically, bison sustained entire civilizations. Plains tribes depended almost entirely on bison. The animals provided meat, hides for shelter and clothing, bones for tools, and more. When bison populations were healthy, people thrived. Today, bison offer small farms a way to produce premium meat on grasslands. They don't need grain finishing like commodity beef. They fatten on grass alone. This reduces feed costs and appeals to grass-fed meat buyers. The profit per animal can be substantial. A finished bison can generate several $1,000s in revenue, much more than commodity cattle, and the market continues to expand. These livestock offer higher profits, lower competition, and greater resilience. They serve specialty markets where demand is strong and prices stay high. They're not commodity animals where you're competing against industrial operations. Let's review. Quail that mature in 6 to 8 weeks and produce premium eggs. Black soldier fly larvae that turn waste into profit. Rabbits that reproduce faster than almost any other livestock. Bees that produce honey, wax, propolis, and royal jelly. Emus with multiple income streams from meat, oil, and leather. Goats that thrive in harsh conditions while producing milk, meat, and fiber, and bison that command premium prices while requiring less intervention than cattle. The future of farming may belong to those who think differently, those who recognize that bigger isn't always better, that specialization can beat commoditization, that serving niche markets with unique products often generates more profit than competing in saturated commodity markets. Small farms can't outproduce industrial operations, but they can out-specialize them. They can serve markets that industrial farms ignore. They can build direct relationships with buyers who value quality and uniqueness over rock-bottom prices. These 7 livestock offer opportunity for farmers willing to learn new skills, willing to serve different markets, willing to raise animals that most people overlook. If you want to learn about profitable livestock, powerful crops, and the future of farming, subscribe now, because the next video may reveal opportunities most people never see coming. Which livestock surprised you the most, or which would you consider raising? Comment below.